Hey guys, welcome to BP, the Bible Perspective. Why aren't we obeying the Bible when it comes to false prophets and their prophecies? Now, before I unpack that, don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. And as always, if you have a thought or comment, add it to the comment section. All comments are welcome. Now, let me make this statement again. Why aren't we obeying God when it comes to false prophets and their prophecies? So this election season probably has bear more light on the prophetic or pathetic prophecies or prophet lying than I've probably ever seen before. And this is what I mean. If you go to YouTube, for example, and just type in dreams and prophetic dreams, scores and scores and scores of people. I was kind of frankly shocked, or I'm not shocked, but surprised at the number. Every freaking person had the dream. A dream from the Lord. And of course, when it comes to the election cycle, you go back months before the election and people were prophesying that Donald Trump would be elected by a landslide another 4 years. People were speaking in the name of the Lord that Donald Trump would be elected. He was God's man, God's choice, God's rod, God's vessel, God's chosen. These were words they used. And people doubled down as the election came. As November 3rd approached, they were shouting Jubilee. One even had put a kind of fancy horn, whatever. I mean, just these prophecies. And then, of course, November 3rd came and oops. See Daisy. And then, of course, the goalpost moving began. Then it was going to be, well, the Electoral College wasn't going to, no, I'm sorry, let me back up. It was going to be election fraud was going to be uncovered, and all of a sudden the millions of votes for Biden would be discovered as a sham, and millions of votes for Donald Trump would be uncovered, and he would win. Well, that didn't happen. All the states all the states certified their votes, and then the next stop was December the 14th. And then remember, his lawyers was going to release a fire hose cracking of evidence showing the election was fraud. And then, of course, even more that we'll come back to the fueling of the conspiracy theories. I'll get to that in a moment because it does intersect with a lot of the false prophets and the false prophecies. Now, keep in mind, their prophecies at this point have already failed. Trump wasn't reelected. So then all of a sudden now they got to readjust. Maybe God was confused, right? That might be it. God was confused. And so then all of a sudden now it was going to be the 14th when the Electoral College wouldn't certify the votes, but they did. Well, then the next moving of the goalposts. Now remember, the original prophecies have already failed. January 6th, when the certification, and this is the great lie. This would go down as a great lie because remember, this was one of the darkest days in our country's history, in modern times, I should say, when Trump supporters stormed, assaulted, attacked the Capitol building. Why? Because it was fueled by a lie. But let me go back, because remember, the prophetic people had a part in that. Remember, people went to Washington, D.C. on the 6th, a part of a lie. Because the lie was that even if they did find all of this fraud, it wasn't going to change anything. The lie was that Vice President Vance was going to stand up in the halls of the Senate and say, "Oh my God, look at all of these voter irregularities. I cannot certify the vote." Even if he did that, it still wouldn't have meant anything. That was the great lie. Many Christians were in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. But it didn't stop there. Of course, then the cracking kept going. And people were saying, well, the 20th, Biden wouldn't be inaugurated. But of course, Biden was inaugurated. So what do we do about these false prophecies? And do you know, to this day, there are people who are still doubling down on their false prophecies. More than that, but here's where now you come in at. If you are a follower of these prophets and other ministers, and by the way, probably I would say there are more voices now speaking up, condemning it. But if you're defending these false prophets, like there's too many to name. Really, there's really too many to name. But if you're defending some of these prophets, you are disobeying God. You're not obeying God in the sense of saying, okay, one, calling it out, denouncing it. Two, following it. To continue to follow these false prophets, you are now disobeying God. Think about that. And by the way, it's why these bad ministries continue in the first place. That is my perspective. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to BP the Bible Perspective. And as always, if you have a thought or comment, add it to the comment section below. All comments are welcome. Till next time, I'll see you then.